Fight this off to you guys. Just get with me. And remember, man, this is Keys Ali, Jaw Podcast, Just Another Week podcast coming in just a few weeks. Follow me on Twitter at Taylors with the S and Fades. Taylors and Fades. Get at you, boy, man. Keep it going, man. I'm out.
And I definitely appreciate that that drop of knowledge, whether it was good or bad knowledge. It was knowledge, nevertheless. Everybody, please be on the lookout for his podcast. That's it's gonna be awesome. I'm definitely gonna be in contact with Ali, see if he can give me some more information about Just Another Week podcast. Should be coming to you soon. I don't know where you can listen to it for right now, but I will definitely get his information and push it on the show because us as podcasters, we got to stick together. It's a small world. It's pretty much us against the world. So anybody who push my podcast, I'm definitely going to push their podcast. True. But I appreciate that soundbite. Thank you so very much for bringing it in and sharing your opinion about wrestling. Now, the TNA question, we're probably going to get into on the next wrestling podcast because, as I mentioned before, it was people are passionate about wrestling. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to tie everything down into an hour and a half show. So it's probably going to be a 2-part series. This is going to be part 1. Part 2 is we're going to dive a little bit more into NXT and TNA, Lucha Underground, things of that nature. This is pretty much mostly WWE with Raw and SmackDown. So we're going to go ahead and discuss the brand split from Raw and SmackDown. But before we dive into it, Josh, you are more of a wrestling guru than I am.
I wouldn't say guru, but I know a little bit.
Yeah, well, you followed it a little bit more up to date than I have due to school schedule. So, your rebuttal to Mr. Ali.
Yeah, it sounds like he knows what he's talking about. He's passionate about it, but I just disagree about the Raw and SmackDown right now. Like Raw, I have to watch Raw. SmackDown, me personally, I can fast forward and just see AJ Styles, and I'm good.
I'm be completely honest.
That's all I want to see.
Last week, I had no idea SmackDown came on Tuesdays.
Yeah, they did that in June or so, or
I
July,
had
something
no
like
idea.
that.
That's how much I have not been watching SmackDown. And when I catch it, it's usually like a replay that comes on one of the Spanish stations.
Yeah.
And that's when I catch it.
Yeah, it's just like with the storylines. Like, I know he said the storylines on SmackDown are better, but outside of Cena, Ambrose, and Styles, their little 3-way thing they got, which is now just going to be Ambrose and Styles. Cena's making a show. And The Miz and Ziggler, that's awesome. That is great. But everybody else, Apollo Crews, where has he been? Becky Lynch, she's great. But can you honestly, realistically say somebody is ready to beat her for that title right now on SmackDown? No.
Is that the champion at this current time?
Yeah,
Becky Lynch?
for the women's
Are they pushing Naomi like they should?
She's got a hell of an entrance. She's got a hell of an entrance. But I mean, I can't. She's not ready to be the champion right now. It's Becky Lynch or nobody else. Because like you said, they put Sasha and Bayley and Charlotte all on Raw, so they're gonna just pass the belt around. But like on SmackDown, it's just Becky Lynch and nobody else. Carmella, she's kind of like the Enzo and Cash. Oh. She was like their manager in NXT. But she came up with the same thing. It wasn't really working. She was supposed to be a face. And then she just flipped to a heel in a week. Like, I didn't really get that. The 16-man tag matches they have on SmackDown, I fast forward through that. The Usos and the Ascension and the Vaudevillains versus Heath Slater and Kalisto. And, like, I want to see that.
Some of these tag teams on
I want to see that.
I mean,
the Heath Slater and Rhino, they're the tag team champions.
I mean,
it's okay, but
stop right there. Heath Slater and Rhino,
they're the tag team champions. Yes, they picked up a lot of momentum, and they
Heath Slater.
Yeah, Heath Slater.
The
3-man band.
Yeah, the 3-man band.
Yeah,
is
and
a
Rhino,
champion.
The ECW Rhino. He's more like a an elephant by now, but
I was about to say, Rhino, isn't he like
yeah, right? I mean,
65?
They're an entertaining tag team, kind of like the New Day, but like 7 notches down. But like, I just can't watch it. I'm not watching an 8-man tag team match. Apollo Crews, he hasn't been on the show in months. Kalisto, where is he at? Kane, I don't really care about Kane.
Ruined.
But he's old. Like, come on. Like,
he is old.
Get him out of here.
How do you go from being a monster? That corporate Kane idea was.
I mean, it kind of
hideous.
Refreshes him because you can't be like the Undertaker. He couldn't be the dead man forever, so they let him be a biker.
Yeah, he went to the American Badass.
And then he came back, you know.
But I mean,
kind of stale.
Corporate Kane.
Yeah, I mean, he's just lost a step. That's all.
He's chubby, which is something that we're gonna get into later on in the show. We talk about steroids and things like that.
And then NXT, I mean, I'll give them that. They have changed from having the because NXT when it first started, it was about the future. Now they're bringing in a lot of indie guys they're 30 something years old. A lot of old guys from TNA, like that. Like Bobby Roode's great. Shinsuke's great from New Japan. Austin Aries. Those guys are great, and then they got the little guy. He's got his name, Eric Young. He has like a group called Sanity. That's pretty good. I got to show you that here too before I leave. I'll show you that. That was great what they did on NXT this last week. But you can't say they're not thinking about it. It's about new talent, because before NXT it was OVW, which was Ohio Valley Wrestling. Roman Reigns was there. Miz came up through that. Dolph Ziggler, Naomi. So I mean, they have homegrown talent and they know how to do it to make stars. But now NXT, they want to make some money because they're touring and, like you said, they're doing a show in Japan in December.
Wow. Yeah,
so they're touring. They want to make money. So this is not just like a little indie thing they're doing. They're here to make money. And when Shinsuke comes to the main roster, no, he does not need to be on SmackDown. I don't want to see Shinsuke versus Kane or Zack Ryder or Apollo Crews. You want to see Kevin Owens. You want to see Seth Rollins. Your boy, Finn Balor. We've seen that before, but they didn't really get a good send-off. But we've seen them all before. But we want to see this on Raw. Unless SmackDown has some extra draft picks I don't know about. Make a trade.
What do they call them? Some compensatory picks?
Yeah, they make some trades or something. I mean, they definitely need some help because outside of the Miz, Ambrose, Cena, Ziggler, that's it.
While we're on that subject, let's go ahead and get into the brand split.
Okay.
I hated it at first, but then once I started digging into it and looking more into it, it makes a whole lot more sense. I totally get it now. Because it's hard to get that much talent into a 3-hour span.
Yeah.
And of course, they had to stretch Raw to 3 hours just because of that reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you have another, 2-hour show with SmackDown.
And then SmackDown was pre-recorded, and it was kind of like a throw. You didn't have to watch SmackDown.
And it was like now, with the brand split and the we spreading around the amount of talent, it reminds me of the days where you had Monday Night Raw and you had Monday Night Nitro.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. SmackDown, to me, reminds me of Monday Night Nitro. It's not the big ticket.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good product.
Yeah, and they're going to evolve. They're going to get more talent in SmackDown where they don't have to do 16-man tag matches, things like that eventually. And like you said, if they didn't have a brand split right now, Ambrose probably wouldn't have been a champion. Kevin Owens he would be feuding with somebody. I don't know, the Big Show. And AJ definitely wouldn't be a champion right now. It gives these guys opportunity to showcase themselves, and like you said, to have different champions, because like you said, if they had one belt, it'd either be on Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, or Seth Rollins. That's it.
Right.
If they had one belt right now.
Now.
And it's not on any of them.
The roster itself. Who would you say has the better roster?
Raw.
Raw.
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, I mean, like this, just like outside of, like I said, Ziggler, Ambrose, Cena, Styles. I mean, that SmackDown roster is just like. I mean,
I'm looking at some of the stars on Raw. You got Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
You have Charlotte, Finn Balor.
Got Brock.
Roman, Brock, New Day, Sami Zayn.
Now,
Sasha.
Now, what they could have did, there's no reason for Sami Zayn or Cesaro to be on Raw because they're so top heavy. Like, and it pushes, because like Cesaro right now, he's in a tag team. Sami Zayn is, I don't know, I hadn't seen Sami Zayn in a couple weeks. I think he was on this past week. He was tagging with Neville for no reason at all. They just decided they were going to be a tag team.
Raw roster, I mean,
it's too deep.
Rusev, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Nia Jax, who they trying to push now. Neville, as you mentioned. Cesaro, Sheamus was the champion at one point in time.
Sheamus can stay, but they're too deep. They could have put Sheamus or Cesaro, Neville, Sami Zayn, put them on the SmackDown roster. Like, I don't understand why they did that.
Golden Truth, is that still with?
That
is that wrong?
It doesn't matter. They need to be on the main event or the. I don't know. They need to be on some other roster. I don't really care about them.
Then for SmackDown, you have Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, Cena, Orton, Bray Wyatt.
Orton, I forgot about Orton and Wyatt. Orton and Wyatt, yeah. But then, like, Orton and Wyatt, they're in this feud now, and it's not very good at all.
Yeah, I was not impressed. I was watching SmackDown one time.
Yeah.
And I think it was before the previous pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And Bray Wyatt, I can't remember who he was wrestling. But Randy
Kane.
Orton. Was it Kane? It was Kane, yes,
Yeah.
that's right. And Randy Orton came on the screen, and he was like upside down. And you know, we all know Randy Orton's microphone skills is
he's
not,
okay.
He's
all right.
It's not that impressive in my opinion. But he was upside down, and he was, yeah, Bray, I'm gonna do. This is how your world is. It's upside down. I was like, what the hell is this?
And then he goes back looking for him, and then Randy locks him in a room with a camera, of course, in it, and Bray's banging on the door. Like, it's just too much. Like, let them just, both of them can wrestle.
Should Bray Wyatt be a champion?
The way they booked him, no, because on the last pay-per-view, he was supposed to fight Randy Orton on the last pay-per-view. Randy still had that concussion because Brock busted his head open.
Man,
I don't know what. I mean, it was supposed to happen, but Brock he got a little too
Brock went a little too far with those MMA elbows.
Elbows, like he kept doing it. He was like bleeding yet. Hold on, let me try again. Up, I didn't get him. Let me try one more time. There I go. Then you busted it. He had like a gallon of blood in the ring. But he was supposed to fight Randy Orton. He had a concussion, of course, because Brock's a little crazy. And they had a match with Kane. He lost that match straight up against Kane on the pay-per-view. Why? Why would you have Kane beat him straight up? No help. Undertaker, no, he didn't come out the bottom of the ring.
No Paul Bearer?
No Paul Bearer. He didn't come down from heaven. No, nothing.
Wow.
Just beat him straight up. I love Bray Wyatt, but this feud, like the way they're booking him, and this current feud they have with Randy
I don't like how they're booking Randy.
I mean, that's what he's supposed to do.
I don't like how they're using Randy.
He's supposed to Bray Wyatt's supposed to beat Randy Orton. Randy Orton's a 12-time champion.
Yeah. I need Randy to go back to RKO and people out of nowhere. Like on both shows. Just have him come out of nowhere.
Nah, he can't go on both.
Yeah, he can't have him come out of nowhere, RKO somebody and just leave.
I mean,
because they're not. I do not like how they're using Randy. It's almost like his time is up. He's a legend killer.
I mean, that's what.
I guess there's no more legends to kill.
Nah.
Maybe if Goldberg come back, like the rumors say, he can come in RKO.
Yeah, he's coming. Him and Brock is going to wrestle on Survivor
I'm afraid. I'm afraid about that.
Why?
Goldberg has a legacy. Like, it's a strong legacy. And Brock can snap you in a blink of an eye.
I mean, it won't hurt him. I mean, like you say, everybody lost to Brock. Ain't lost since I think, Triple H beat him like in 2012.
Look how opponents been looking against Brock.
Yeah.
Like, everybody looks inferior going up against Brock. I don't want to see someone with.
But then they have to save that for when someone does beat Brock. It has to be. I don't know. I mean, they can